let's go watch the movies. Let's see if we can find some good stuff in the movies. Tell me if you know what this movie is here.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void.
This was one of my all-time favorite movies as a young man. Now, why in the world would you start a science fiction movie off with In the Beginning God, then Big Bang, and then you get to the creature from the Black Lagoon? You know what? It's very interesting to see when you watch some of the older films. Science fiction is a bridge. I believe that it's a bridge. You do not get from there is a God to there is no God just like that most of the time. Something has to happen. There has to be a bridge. So what does evolution come along and do? Oh, you can believe in God. He just used evolution. He just directed the Big Bang. What's a creature from the Black Lagoon all alike? How does it fit into evolution? It's a transitional fossil. It's this gill man. He's amphibian, but he's human. It's a mixture of these two things. He could breathe air for only a little bit, but then he had to get back into the water so he could breathe on the surface. It's just this mixture. You know what they're trying to tell you? It evolved, but then it didn't change for 150 million years. That sort of a thing. This is the movie that started this talk. It really is. How many of you have ever seen this movie right here? The Incredible Mr. Limpet. This was a really good movie to me because as a young person I loved it. And then I remember when my children were, I'd say they were probably 12 or 13, I remember finding the movie in the store and taking it home and saying, man, we're going to have a family night. We're going to pop the movie in and watch this movie. Family night. 13 minutes exactly into the movie, stop the film, we got to talk. Because you see, I never caught this as a young man. 13 minutes into the movie, his buddy's there, and his buddy's trying to get him out of the house. And his buddy is like, let's go, let's do this, let's go do this. He doesn't want to do anything except hang out with his fish. And finally, his buddy is like, what is wrong with you and these fish? And then Don Knotts goes over and pulls down the chart. You see the chart there? What's the chart? All the millions of years. And then Don Knotts throws this one out.
Well, I've given it a lot of thought, George. A lot of thought. George, do you realize that our ancestors were fish?
Stop the film. We got to talk. And we talked. Turned it back on.
George, I'm not joking. I can explain.
He sure can, George. He's read hundreds of scientific books on the subject. He claims millions of years ago there was nothing but fish in the world.
That's right. And then, you see, some of those ancient creatures, they became amphibians. And they crawled out on the land, you see. And then millions of years later, they became men.
Stop the film. We got to talk. It actually got to the point where my children said to me, Dad, you're no fun. We don't want to watch movies with you anymore. I admit I was a little bit too aggressive, so we had to change our approach in these things. So what we started doing was we would just take notes during the movie, or we would remember things, but when we got done with it, then we would start talking. Did you catch this? What do you think they meant by that? And we would start talking about those things. And guys, I encourage you to use that to start understanding the message that the culture's throwing at you because they're there. Well, they finally get Don Knotts out of the house, and they get him down to Coney Island, and he's standing on this pier, and he's got a book with him. That the first section of this movie, he's carried this book with him everywhere he's gone. You see the title of the book? The Theory of Reverse Evolution. And then Don Knotts prays, well, he wishes. I wish I were a fish. And whatever deity is out there hears him because everything gets dark, and the light comes down on Don. And he gets his wish. He gets his answered prayer. He falls into the ocean and watch as he goes through the theory of reverse evolution. Now, it's very funny to me that during this whole movie, they're mocking him. They're making fun of him. He's this nut. He believes in evolution. Watch the book falling down behind him. But who had the truth? Don did. The people that were the good people, they didn't know. They were so wrong. Don was the one that had the truth.
Sal, where's Eddie?
He said something about being on the verge of an evolutionary breakthrough.
Really?
I'm flying!
Some breakthrough.
Now, isn't that great, though? Can't you use that clip to say, guys, we really need to talk about this. How could a theropod dinosaur evolve into a bird? Look at the legs of a theropod. They're really big. We call people bird leg because they got little tiny skinny legs, and that's not a nice thing. Look at the legs, they're totally different. Look at the lungs, look at the bones, look at the heart, look at the arms. A scale over millions of years got roughed up and turned into a feather? And we got problems. What was that verse talking about? Imagination. We need to tear down imagination. Guys, that's about as imaginative as you can get. That a scale can get roughed up, which is a fold in the skin, and turn into a feather, which is a complex structure that grows out of the body. Oh, this is a wonderful one to talk with young people about evolution. How bankrupt it is. But here's this one. Now, let me ask you a question. Think critically. Do you think they're trying to teach evolution here? What do you think? Talk to me, please. You think they are? Were they effective in teaching evolution? Think critically. Yes? You think so? Let me challenge you. I don't think they are. Why? Because if evolution is true, should you find them all living at the exact same time in the same layer? No. If it were true, you should find the simpler one on the bottom, then the next one more complex further up, next one further up. Do you see what I'm saying? So I don't know if they were trying to teach it, but if they were, they didn't achieve it. Think critically. This is one of the reasons that the horse series in the museum has been really pretty much discredited, because they find all of those things living contemporaneously at the same time, and that doesn't support evolution. It actually undermines it. But then they go into the next room, and what do they find there? They find the T-Rex, then they find the UFO. Now, what's that all about? Hey, think about it. Intelligent design in our world today is very popular. And you listen to the leading proponents of intelligent design, and they will tell you, I've got it on tape, where, oh yeah, we think, God is a good candidate to be the designer, but if it's not God, who is it? Well, it could be something exotic like space aliens. So the aliens were here before, bringing life. Be careful with the intelligent design stuff, friends, because unless you name the name, a designer's not going to get you into heaven. Jesus Christ. At the name of Jesus, every knee shall bow and tongue confess. So be careful with that. There's some other things in there, but how about this one? Lilo and Stitch. How many of y'all saw this? Now, come on. I know, yeah, a lot of you. Watch this. This is blatant. This is blatant.
Can we not simply destroy the island?
No! Crazy head? The mosquito's food of choice, primitive humanoid life forms have colonies all over that planet.
Are they intelligent?
No, but they're very delicate. In fact, every time an asteroid strikes their planet, they have to begin life all over.
Ooh. Now, how many hands saw it? How many caught it? See, here's the point. What I'm trying to submit to you is this, is that we as Christians, we get so used to hearing this message that it's just the way that it is. Everybody knows it's true. It's a fact. And we get used to it, just like we get moved from the plane into the city walls. Slowly, gradually, we start reflecting the world's wisdom instead of the word's wisdom. Because we see this stuff and we don't catch it. I was the same way. Now, this is the one that gets me in trouble with the young ladies here tonight. I'm sorry. But number one, you need to understand something right up from the very beginning of this. This is a cartoon. Don't take it serious. Do you realize that they've already made a sequel of this movie? It's called Nemo Found. It's playing at your local sushi station. You gotta lighten up. It's a cartoon. Now, it's a very good cartoon, and there's some interesting things in there. A father that loves that child. Disobedient son, going out to find them. It has got some good points to it, but you know what? There's some big problems too. Matter of fact, how about syncretism? What's syncretism? Oh, Bill Jack's going to cover that. I can't wait. You guys are going to love Bill. He's going to do some great stuff. But syncretism, it doesn't matter what you believe. You just got to believe in something. You see, it's like a mountaintop. There's all kind of different paths to get to the top of the mountain, so it doesn't matter what you believe. You just got to believe something. Well, do they teach that in here? I don't know, but do you remember this scene? They used this phrase twice in the movie that I found.
He did it! I'm so happy.
Is he going to be okay, Gil?
Don't worry. All drains lead to the ocean.
All drains lead to the ocean. Are they trying to teach syncretism there? I don't know. But does it allow me an opportunity to talk about what it is and the problems with it? That it's not right? That there is only one way? And that's at the name of Jesus Christ? Yeah, sure it does. Well, where's the evolution? It's in the jellyfish scene. Remember this?
Give it up, old man. You can't fight evolution. I was built for speed.
Very quick. You see, what I do now, my son is graduating oh boy, in about a month now from college. And it's now a game. When we go to the movies together, it's who can catch the evolution first. It's a game because that's the way it's just